right, we're good to go? Okay. All right. So good evening, everyone. We will go ahead and call the meeting to order since we're just a minute past 6:30. We'll go ahead and get this started. So the first thing we have to do is set the agenda for this evening. So all of our board members have that in front of us. And any additions or changes that you guys need to make to the agenda, or are we good? We're good? Good. Do we have to make a motion for that?
We just make a motion, so second.
Okay.
Motion.
All right. Second. All right, great. Everybody good? Yes. All right. So the next thing that we have to do pretty quickly is swear in our new members. So we have some new members on the board, and we're certainly glad to have them joining us, and we'll take care of that now.
Yes, I'll make this super quick, okay? So we can share.
Okay.
One hand on the Bible, one hand up, and then we can do it at the same time. We'll just go name. When I say state your name, you go, and you go, and we'll continue.
Okay.
Okay. So
I,
state your name.
Rebecca Carpenter,
I, Danielle Clark,
Okay, and then y'all can do it at the same time. Do solemnly swear
do
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United
and
States
the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
as an environmental and sustainability board member.
as an environmental sustainability board member.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right. Congratulate our newest members, please.
Yay. Welcome. All right. So next up, we just have the adoption of the minutes. So, okay. Does anyone have any concerns or edits? Looks good. All right. So I'll make the motion to approve. We need a second. Okay. And everybody is in favor. All right. So now we will move into the agenda portion of our meeting. And first up, we have some guests who are going to be speaking with us today about Bee City, USA.
Am I on?
Yes.
So I'm Susie Smith. I'm normal, regular American, Belmont citizen who is interested in bees. So I saw this thing called Bee City USA. I'm like, that is cool. Let's get it going for Belmont. Thinking that it had everything and only to do with bees, which in fact is very little to do with bees. It's all about pollinators. And you guys have probably heard of the struggles that bees are having and have been having for the past years. That has not changed. My hope is to do my little piece, and I believe that we can all coexist with the animals that are out there. We don't want to get into the why people are shooting coyotes, etc. That's a whole, not this topic. But what Bee City actually is it's a country, it's a USA-based organization that the goal is to raise awareness of the role that pollinators play. Pollinators, butterflies, what are those little things? Ladybugs, and bees, bumblebees, honeybees, mason bees. There's thousands of different kinds of bees. So what my hope is as a beekeeper, you may have seen my beehive out back by the cement wall. That's me and my dog that runs around with us when we're doing the bees. My hope is to educate people. You know, my nephews who were football players, big guys, wouldn't get closer than 20 feet to my beehive because they were afraid they were going to, as my nephew said, swarm them, come and get them. And, there was no telling him that that's not how bees behave. Honeybees, in fact, are pretty gentle. I don't usually get stung when I go to my bees. I have been, but that was my fault when I got stung. So my hope is to educate people that bees are actually a good thing for us and not a bad thing, if we treat them with respect, as we should be anyways. Last night I was fortunate enough to be able to hear a talk by our state bee inspector, state apiary inspector, Nancy Rupert. And she mentioned that last year there was 40% loss in hives in North Carolina. That's a lot. That's almost half of the hives that people are trying to maintain are dropping out, dead. And that's only important if you don't even care about bees. It's only important because 1 in 3 bites of food we eat is due to pollination. That makes it real important. And if you go in the grocery store, as I do sometime, and I'm kind of disgusted at the fact that most of that stuff in the grocery store is not even food. And the stuff that is food is soon, if we don't make a change, not going to be in the grocery stores. We're all going to be eating Oreo cookies as a staple, and hot dogs, and okay, that's a whole other topic also. But the point being, we need to get our pollinators up and moving. And that's what I came to Belmont fairly recently, and I know that we have ordinance, if it's called an ordinance for chickens, which is fabulous. And also, we're a tree city. So already I know that there's people here that are interested in their environment and are good folks at heart. And I see us doing this with Bee City USA. All it means really for the city is to have a liaison, which I think is going to be Jamie, and someone to work with to create a time for events and that type of thing. It's not a big money drain on the city, and I don't propose that all of us get a beehive and put it in our backyards. That's not feasible, and everybody's not going to want to do that. So that is why I initially brought it to the city. And what I did also is ask Burton Beasley. Burton is the president of the Gaston County Beekeepers Association, which I'm a member of also, and I'm going to let him talk about whatever he's going to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie.
Good evening, everyone. As she mentioned, my name's Burton Beasley. I'm the Gaston County Bee Association president. I'm not a Belmont resident, but I am a Gaston County resident. I reside in Dallas, so we're back across the river here. But Bee City, the Bee City initiative is a worthwhile initiative to protect pollinators. As Susie mentioned, that's butterflies, that's bees, other beneficial insects that do help pollinate the vital plants that produce fruits, vegetables that are part of our food system, that attributes to approximately 1/3 of all of our food that's produced. If you look at some of the indirect pollination of like alfalfa and other grasses that are also fed to livestock, so there may actually be a sort of secondary effect of these pollinators that attributes to more of our food. I've served on 2 of these committees for Bee City. We work with Mount Holly. We've working currently with Gastonia. Both have passed proclamations. Both have Bee City designations. Bessemer City is on the way to do one. We could be the first Bee County. We've got lots of cities that are working towards this initiative. As Susie mentioned, this initiative does not encompass a whole lot of money. There is a seed money that is to get the designation that once the city passes a proclamation for, it's based on a population depending on how much you have to pay. It is a annual budget that would have to be budgeted for, but it's not a whole lot of money. The things set forth in B City are not to set forth rules of this citizen must change this, the city, you've got to do this right now and enact this policy. But the things that they do want to see is taking a goal towards pollinator protection, and what that means is step down of pesticide uses when we can. I understand working with the farmer community. I'm a pesticide applicator or a licensed pesticide applicator. I understand there's certain situations where we must step in, apply pesticides to save a crop or to protect a certain plant. But the biggest thing with B City is they want to see that there is sort of this forethought before we use a certain product that, hey, these pollinators out there, maybe this is not the best time to apply the product, maybe it's not the best product plant. And then also with plantings in mind, planting specific plants that are going to be pollinator friendly, pollinator benefit. So those are things that you can incorporate with your city arborist or whoever does your city landscaping pesticide applications. And our role in this is a advisory role. Susie mentioned there will be some infrastructure if y'all decide to go forward with the proclamation. You have to form a committee, show that you're having regular meetings. There will annual event. You're already doing an Arbor Day, Earth Day. You can plan a specific Bee City Day event like some of the other cities have done, or you can also feature that as part of one of your other events. So if you're going to do an Arbor Day, you can make it an even bigger day, have an Arbor Day and Bee City Day. There's some things within there that we can work in. We'd be glad to work with you, advise you on how the other cities have went through the process doing the proclamation, and help you out however we can. Mr. Jim Burke, do you have anything you would like to add that I missed?
No, other than the fact that it really is not that intensive a program. A lot of people think it's going to be this massive administrative workload, and like Burton said, a lot of cities and towns are already doing some of the things that they want you to do. It's just a matter of formalizing it, and as Burton said, taking a look at your pesticide use, and is there a pesticide that will still do the job that maybe is not as toxic to pollinators that you could use, and just putting that thought process into your landscaping work and maintaining of your properties. And we've had some towns say, well, does that mean we have to tear out all of our plants and plant nothing but native plants? And that's not the case. What they're asking is that you could set aside certain areas maybe and plant, as Burton said, pollinator-friendly plants. It doesn't mean you have to go back and tear everything out. So it's basically to raise awareness of pollinators and what they need to survive, and trying to provide a certain amount of habitat for them to help give them a fighting chance, basically, and to raise awareness with the public, and that's the purpose of the event. And they ask that you do a minimum of one event, so you can do more if you want, but you're only required to do one a year.
And Jim is our county extension agent through the NC Cooperative Extension, and also a member of Master Gardeners. So he's a lot of benefit to us as the Gaston County Bee Association. And again, anything we can advise you on, supporting role if you decide to do the event or do any kind of outreach events, we're welcome to come in and help you with the educational aspect of that, teaching people the importance of bees, pollinators, and we'll work with you however we can on that.
And we're already actually doing some events in Belmont through the school gardening program. Some of the schools participate in that. That's an extension program. And as part of that curriculum, beekeepers come out to those schools usually twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall, and we do presentations to the classes on the importance of honeybees and other pollinators. So all that can be, you can count all that as part of satisfying those criteria.
You have any questions for me while I'm up here?
I did have one.
ma'am.
When you're talking about kind of some of the conditions for doing this, is there sort of a resource guide that goes with it that's specific to this area when talking about guidance for plantings or making sure that the trees and things are appropriate for?
We do have some people here. The Master Gardeners are a great resource. They have people who specialize with native plantings. Actually, it's Allison Pittman. She works with Holy Angels right up the road here. She's a native plant expert. She would be a good go-to resource.
So it's like a human resource?
What's that?
It's like a human resource
Yeah.
rather than this kind of
If you don't have
resource.
anybody in staff, the extension office would be a great resource. And then they do have some resources on the Bee City site as far as what kind of plants are beneficial to pollinators. And they do have it broke down regionally.
You're our number one resource.
Any more questions?
Not a question, but I appreciate you bringing this to us, because I definitely think it'd be a good fit, and for the offer to share some of the information with citizens. I'd say mark your calendars for April 6th for the Arbor Day event this year. It'd be great to have you all out to share that.
We are planning on participating in that. We just haven't gotten our application in, but
All right.
that's one of the events we are going for you guys.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much. Do you guys have any questions? Anything? No? Okay. All right. Jamie, this question is more for you. So from a city capacity perspective, it doesn't sound like it's a huge lift for resources, and it sounds like the budgeting would be relatively small. The only other kind of piece that I feel like we would need to get on board as a partner is David and his kind of group. So as long as, do you think there'd be any roadblocks there that we would need to consider?
I don't, but if, you were to make a recommendation for the city to move forward with Bee City USA, we could definitely pull them in and have meetings with Public Works. I actually wrote down, talk with David and Danny. So yeah, we could pull them in and talk to them about what needs to be in the resolution, work with Parks and Rec Department as well.
Okay.
And then once we get a draft resolution put together, we can send it out to get your opinion on it, Susie, and then to y'all, to see if it's something that you think the committee, because it's going to get tied to this committee. So we need our committee members to feel that it is something that we can take on as a responsibility. And then from there, it would go to City Council for approval. And if they approve it and adopt a resolution, then we would finish up with the application and then move forward from there.
Okay.
Can I just add something? The Bee City site actually has a model resolution, and when Gastonia did theirs, they just basically took that and did some slight modifications and used that. And the other thing that they're really looking for is, and that you mentioned, is they're really looking for the entity, whoever it is, to use this as an opportunity to establish partnerships with groups that have something to contribute in that area. So the more people you have involved, the better it is. So.
One last thing on my part. I've already been in conversation with the community gardens. So we've been talking about doing collaborative, maybe some events. We're going to have a cleanup at the garden. Other educational things. So it's already happening even without approval. We've been kind of doing this because both of us believe in that.
Well, it sounds like you have unanimous support from the board.
So let's make it official.
All right, so we will make it official. And my dad was a beekeeper, so I grew up with bees, and I really appreciate you guys bringing this. It's super important and near and dear to my heart personally. So I'll go ahead and move to, or make a motion to recommend that the city council supports the city of Belmont becoming a bee city. Do we need a second? Second.
Second.
All right, and it's unanimous. So we'll check that one off. Thank you guys very much for the information.
Do we want to segue into the next?
Yeah.
item? Okay, so I'm going to do some introductions, or have y'all do some introductions. We've got Town of Cramerton with us tonight. You want to start with that?
Josh Watkins, Planning Director for the Town of Cramerton.
Eric Smallwood, Parks and Recreation Director.
Then Eunice McSwain, the Special Events and Program Supervisor for the Town of Cramerton.
So we do our event with Cramerton, so we've asked them to come tonight to kind of give input and see what we've been working on as well. And then we have Cassidy, our Parks and Rec, she's our Special Events Coordinator. And then
Jonathan Taylor, Community Garden, Belmont.
So we invited Jonathan tonight because we think he has a really good opportunity for this event. Yeah.
Good evening. My name's Jonathan Taylor with the Community Garden. Welcome new members. I rolled off the Historic Commission, and whenever we had a crowd this big, it was not as pleasant. Y'all are doing some great work. Congratulations on Bee City. I know Belmont goes out of its way to get appropriate designations, and we've been Tree City a number of years, and I know that's under y'all's onus now, and that's a complicated thing. Yes.
I forgot to mention, we did receive our Tree City Award for this year as well. So
Good.
Congratulations.
Move forward.
But good thing, so congratulations. Briefly, this is kind of hot off the presses and something the Community Garden does, and we are a nonprofit. We're one of 5 recognized by the DAG in Gaston County and the second of the 5, but we do have an educational outreach, and we do get grants sometimes from the Community Foundation of Gaston County. But one of the things we like to do, and we've done it for Principal Kessler's primary school, we do a Ladybug release, and we were talking about things to do with the Arbor Day, or Earth Day, and is it Arbor Day or Earth Day?
We're calling it the Arbor Day celebration, but it's kind of...
But we've sistered with Cramerton, and I think it's been a great success for this part of Charlotte Metro. But briefly, it's one of the more garden-centric events that can be controlled, because what you do is do a Ladybug Program, and you can get these commercially harvested ladybugs that are hibernating. So you can do whatever age-appropriate educational event, and for like Page Primary, usually it's about a 3-minute program. Whatever we end up deciding to do, the ladybugs are on ice, and it's pretty cool. The kids and adults line up, but as you pass out the sleeping ladybugs, the warmth of your hand, you kind of cup it, the ladybugs wake up and start to crawl up your arms and into your hair, and the kids really love it. And it's a very hands-on, very effective program to accomplish. And we have it lined up for that sponsorship and the bugs to come, and we'll figure out, with weather permitting, how to do it. So that's something that is kind of just an idea that happened between Jamie and Shelley and the Community Garden that kind of, when we were talking about Bee City, kind of was born this week. So thank you. Any questions? Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you so
That's
much.
awesome.
So yeah, we thought it would be a really great addition to this year's event, something different, something new, hands-on activity that we can really promote. And
We're getting 10,000 and maybe more.
Nice.
that is
The
awesome.
ladybugs are good bugs. They eat fat bugs.
Thank you, John. That's awesome. Okay, so other Arbor Day update.
Do you want to talk about?
Y'all have?
Yes.
You can
Well, I just wanted to add that we were tasked with the Goodwill Station, and we met to discuss that a little bit, and we thought that because it was sort of being piloted at this celebration, that we wanted to kind of manage the scope for a first year kind of Goodwill drop-off or exchange of items. So we thought what would be manageable would be to kind of limit it, and it would be on the publicity, but manage it with kind of a book exchange, and then kind of kids' toys / items exchange, because those are things that people kind of use and discard quite easily. You're finished with the book, you might stick it on the street down here, but other than that, it's going to accumulate. Or the children's toys, and we all know about that. So having kind of separate tables for that, and then people could kind of come through that way. And then if there are leftovers, it's pretty easy to pass those off to community resources, and I think those would be, acceptable items. And then we also don't have to worry so much about like if people are bringing clothes or kind of larger household appliances and things like that. I think that might be a little bit cumbersome. So that was where we were thinking to go with that, if other people thought those were good ideas.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Lower the scope a little bit, make it more
Yeah,
manageable.
just kind of manage it, and then if we could put that in the publicity as well, then people would know that they can bring items, and then also that they can expect to exchange.
Okay, so we're calling
So
it
just like a toy and book exchange, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I have a lot of toys I can bring.
Definitely doable. I like that idea. So let's go.
I also, so I had confirmed the Girl Scouts. The Girl Scouts, I don't know what else you want me to do to make that complete, but we will be there.
Okay, perfect.
The Boy Scouts, only on Monday, I asked the contact to come, and I didn't hear back, but I will try to have both troop leaders at the next meeting in March,
That would be
thinking
awesome.
that would be just making people more comfortable about bringing small children to, an event. They really
Yeah,
understand that
that'd be
this is an organized.
Anyone else have other updates, or do you want us to just kind of run through what we've got on the city side? Okay. I feel like there's so much, I don't even know where to start. So we met with Keep Belmont Beautiful, and they are good with moving their kickoff for their cleanup that day to the Riverfront Park. So the day kind of right now is looking like Keep Belmont Beautiful started off with their Keep Belmont Beautiful cleanup, and that'll be at the park, and they're going to invite everybody that's volunteering back to the park for this event. So we'll have activities and food ready to go at 11. And then everything else will start at 12, which will be the presentations from NC Forestry. We sent in a request to have the representatives there to do the presentations. Did I call them? I'll send you all the emails, sorry. I'll send the emails to y'all. So we have put in a request for them to be there. And then our Public Works Department is already aware of where the trees are going to go. They're going to dig the holes for us. We're going to have 3 tree plantings down at the park. I'll show it if it's like a little list instead of going through ahead and trying to figure out. Let's see. Activities. We have a shredded truck confirmed to be down at the park, so that's something we're going to promote. Is log rolling coming?
They're available. We just need to decide if we want to move forward based on the budget.
That's the best part.
Log rolling.
The log rolling. The log
So we need to
rolling
find
where
a
the kids
sponsor
walking
for
on
that.
it.
We have been in communication as far as sponsorships with Waste Pro, Brookline Homes, yeah, some local brothers. We did a local.
Do you guys remember off the top of your head what the cost is for the log rolling?
$350, as long as our fire department is willing to fill the pool for them, and they have confirmed they'll do that for us.
Okay. I think I know who would sponsor that if we need somebody.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let me follow up with them, but I'm 99% sure.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
What's the official date of Arbor Day?
April 6th.
Yeah.
We've talked with several vendors of doing like succulent plantings, and now everything is just coming back to me. I have a list, I'm just losing my mind, y'all. Okay, so confirmed-ish activities. We've got log rolling, we're going to do fishing and kayak access off of the docks, arts and crafts through hopefully AR workshop is going to be helping us with an arts and crafts activity. Succulent planting, we've talked with Erica, who owns Meraki right here on the corner. And she's going to help us put together some type of succulent planting activity, some little air plants and clay pots. We're going to do the Ladybug release. And then the gardens are going to do a tree identification gain, hopefully.
Big calling, education.
Okay.
Yes.
Part of the garden.
Yes.
We're going to do a tree identification. We are working on finding a program that Shelley mentioned was done a couple of years ago, where they kind of put price tags on all the trees so that people can see what the value and the cost of the tree is at the size that it's at today, something like that. Information stations, Keep Belmont Beautiful will be there. We have reached out to the NC State Extension Office to have some of y'all there if possible. The Beekeepers, Master Gardener or Gardening Group. Master Gardeners, they submitted an application this afternoon, I believe. And then the Whitewater Center, we are working to get just information from them. They're unable to attend, but we asked them for brochures and schedules of events that we can pass out at the event. And then Waste Pro as well. We have a Young Living Essential Oils vendor. The Carolina Thread Trail has agreed to come and do an informational table. And then Belmont Community Garden will be doing the Ladybug release.
That's great.
So that is the city updates.
I have an LED lighting vendor confirmed as well.
Awesome.
Still waiting on Riverman and Yorkchester, but I've reached out to them.
Okay.
Just a suggestion on your shredding event. Work with Keep Gaston and Beautiful as part of my job. We have 2 of those a year. When we first started them, people actually showed up with trailer loads of stuff.
Oh, wow.
They cleaned out old offices, and so since then we have put a limit on how much you can bring.
Okay.
So, because it's designed for basically household shredding, not business shredding, and so we put a limit of 3 like banker boxes full of stuff, and that's worked out really well. And so we now don't have these. We have people that brought multiple trailer loads of stuff.
Oh, wow. Does that happen to y'all?
No, but it's the #1 phone call we get.
Okay.
Is the shredding truck.
The shredding truck.
They just hold on to that stuff. We're going to keep it. That's great.
That's awesome. Okay, am I missing something? Can we put down the table for your similar group to this group? I don't forget what they're called.
I'll reach out to the community committee and see
Okay.
if they can provide some people, because we're actually starting in our parks a bat box initiative. Deploying a lot of bat box to help with our mosquito issues that we have down by our slow-moving river. And that kind of would tie into the Bee City thing, if you will, because a lot of the pesticides used to kill mosquitoes also kill bees. So, that's one of we've just put up 3. I think each box holds 50 to 75 bats, and they eat thousands of mosquitoes a night. So.
Do you think your contact would be willing to do the table out there as well? We send you the link and stuff?
Yeah, if you want to send it over, I'll reach out to them.
Okay, that'd be cool to have. Yes, they said to put them down. On the table out there.
And the composting, I've confirmed my husband. He's on board.
Awesome.
And we can do another Bokashi box if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot the most exciting remark. Okay, so the art contest. Gaston Printing and Signs has agreed to sponsor the entire competition. So at the event, we will be unveiling our newly wrapped trash truck that'll be servicing all of the parts, and it'll be wrapped with the winners of this year's art contest. So I have sent out the parameters of the art contest to the Belmont schools teachers, and they've all got their students working on it.
Nice.
The designs should be in before our next meeting, so y'all will be voting at the next meeting.
Nice.
That'll
That's
be fun.
exciting.
I'm coming.
I'll be at that one.
That is really, we've just been calling people nonstop.
Do you need more tables, or do you think you're good?
looking at about 12 to 15-ish right now. If you know other people or think other people would be great, I can send a link out to y'all so you can start sending it to others and try getting some other vendors. But really, if you look through this, a lot of it's just in progress. If you sent stuff out, I just kind of wait to confirm everything that is already on there.
I saw in here that Duke was not able to sponsor. Did we ask them about even just providing like an informational booth?
I reached back out for
Okay.
information that we can provide, but yes, they said that they were able to sponsor.
Okay.
And then we are scheduling a trip to go to Lowe's and the local nurseries, just to follow up with them to see if we can get some partnership or even donation treats would be awesome as well. So those are in progress.
Okay.
Do y'all have any questions?
I'm interested in meeting up with us then.
Cassidy's gonna put together all volunteer stuff, and tasks and how we can split it up and be up for responsibilities. All right, well, yay, Arbor Day. Okay. Keep it
Are we good on that topic now? Okay, pretty good. All right, next up, an exciting topic, the Crayola recycling campaign.
Yay! Okay, so my buckets are under here. You can use the pink lids if you would like. It really only came in pink.
Easy to spot.
Yeah. So yes, we have buckets, and I just put one sticker on to kind of give an example. Do you want to give an overview for friends in the audience of what this
Okay,
is?
I can do that. Well, so the Crayola Color Share program is something that's sponsored by Crayola Markers, and they have a opportunity where schools, and I think other organizations as well, can sign up, and all you have to do is have these bins where all the kids are throwing away their old markers, and instead they can recycle them, and Crayola will agree to ship at their own cost the boxes of used markers back to the recycling, or back to their facility to recycle them instead of throwing them away. So we just thought this was a great opportunity to pilot it with Page Primary, because we know they use a lot of markers, and kind of be able to track, because they, they're going to procure a lot at the beginning of the year, and then we'll be able to see kind of how many that they recycle over the course of the year, and maybe hopefully continue that program with other schools, and let it really grow and just be sustained in our community. So it's a small thing to do that maybe could have a huge impact. So it's Crayola markers, but it's also things like highlighters and expo markers and things like that. So anything where you can kind of pull out that center thing, and then I believe they just kind of reuse the plastic and start again, which makes a lot of sense. So a little thing to do, but hopefully makes a big impact.
Yes, so the ESV is kind of sponsoring, so we've got these stickers to put on our bins here. And then I went ahead, Mr. Kessler, and printed out instructions for the teachers.
Nice, thank you.
So it's all set to go. At the end of this meeting, we can probably whip it out and get these boxes completed and ready for you to take back to your school.
Super.
So, yeah.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're excited to make it a reoccurring project.
Do they have to be Crayola markers to be recycled?
No, it could be like expo. You can check with them, but my understanding from the person that I reached out to was that, yeah, it wasn't a problem.
And when I was
So-
looking online, it said you can take highlighters.
Yeah, they weren't very brand specific. So that's pretty exciting.
And it's no cost.
And it's no cost to the school, which is the best part.
Our only cost was
We're a wash of
materials.
Right?
So if you'll hang tight, we'll knock these out at the end of the meeting.
I may have to get back to show you.
Do you want to just a picture? Like, I can take a picture of you and hand it off to him that way, so that.
How about I take a picture of you handing it off to him, because, no.
You could film the great necklace. I should have never done that.
Or we can schedule something and
No, let's just do
deliver
it because he's got places
Okay.
to go, and so, do you want to just like do one or two? Because I'm sure you guys want to use this for your mutual publicities with all your
obligations. Yeah, if you want to just do one that's already done.
Yeah.
Snag a quick picture.
That'll be difficult. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely fine.
All right.
Hold that up. We'll just grab a quick pic.
Should we?
You guys can photobomb in the back.
I'll always have one in my wallet.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Can Miss Taylor be in it as a true representative?
Much cuter than I am.
Want to hold this? And you can hand that over to Mr. Kessler, maybe.
There you go. We'll get the sticker on it.
Yeah, let's show this side so we can just,
That sticker right
there you
there.
go.
All right, perfect.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Maybe this way, just have it, Sarah.
all the way
okay.
out?
No, just in between Danielle and Jamie. To your left, just a tad bit. Okay, you're my left, you're right. Perfect, right there, okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome.
All right.
So we'll put these boxes together and then we can just drop them off at a page.
Yeah,
Would that
that
be
works
okay?
for you.
Okay, yeah.
Miss Miller?
Miss Miller.
So that needs to go.
Anything, let us know.
I think so.
All right, she's been working hard this whole meeting. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank
We're
you.
here to save the workers.
Yeah, if you want to, that's the oldest.
One school at a time, right?
Right?
It's super.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
If you want to leave the stickers with us, we can do the review one.
The stickers here?
Yeah, let's just go.
Okay, yeah, if he's cool with
We can
it,
slap the
I'm
stickers.
cool with it. You can do that in a teacher's.
Do you need help carrying that?
As you're explaining it to the kids, have them do it.
And then have her take a picture and then send it to us and
Yeah.
we'll promote it.
Sure.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's always another layer of stuff.
No, well, thank you. And so Miss Vingo's daughter was a page to last year.
Yeah, she was.
Miss her every day.
Yeah.
But Martha knows who she is, she's all right.
The last thing though, if you could just, as
Thank
we
you.
kind of study how this is working, if you could let Jamie know how much
Sure.
you do procure,
Right.
that way we can have an idea of
Right,
tracking,
right,
you
right.
know, overall tonnage.
Right. We'll follow up and talk about how.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, we appreciate it.
Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for letting me be here, it's very exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that sounds great. Good day. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, sure.
Thank you.
All right, let's get this party started now.
So update on landscaping ordinance. Shelley presented what she presented to y'all to the city council at their retreat, and they said yes to moving forward with applying for the grant that I shared with you all last month, at last month's meeting. So Shelley and I are working on filling out the grant and getting everything ready to go to submit. It's due in March, so we're kind of powering it out. But if we get that grant, it's a matching grant, so 50% matching grant, and then those funds would be used towards updating the landscaping ordinance, which kind of ties well with the whole bee city and everything that we've been talking about. So we're really excited about that. I will keep you all posted. I know our next meeting, I'm kind of discussing where we are with the grant application is next Tuesday, so we should have a little bit more information on that. But yes, we're getting somewhere.
Nice.
Do y'all have any questions that you want me to follow up on as far as landscaping ordinance, or just send out email update?
Go with an email update, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then I just kept the Heritage Tree Program on here to see if anybody had thoughts on moving forward with it. Do we want to take more time to look at it, or?
So I went through and edited, because there were just some like grammar, punctuation, misspelling kind of things in here. But I think it was you actually who sent the email about maybe this is just entirely too complicated and it should be.
I sent you the City of Columbia.
Yeah, like a one-page kind of condensed down thing. So maybe we could just talk about which way we want to go, and then if we want to trash this, there's no point in fixing it.
Yeah, I thought it was definitely a good idea to do something shorter, especially for the public? I mean, if you want to keep this as the formal,
It's like an email. If your email is longer than a paragraph.
right, you're not going to read it.
And the fact that this is a voluntary program, I think the simpler the better, if we want people to participate, so.
Yeah, it seemed slightly restrictive. There was a lot of rules and,
Yeah.
which I think are, some of them are good, you know, you should meet certain criteria, but I don't know how many people will participate if there are.
Some of this could be like an appendix to a very simple, like one-page.
Do you have a volunteer that wants to take on this project?
I can.
Okay.
What exactly do we need to do? Just make up a new
Yeah,
flyer
draft a
or,
program,
okay.
And then, we can present it at the next meeting, if you wanted to look at it before, and we can kind of go back and forth with it. And just kind of have something good to propose, and then move forward from there. You don't want to hold on. We'll get your opinions. We'll send it to you once it's been mostly flushed
So
out.
what the city did was reach out to all the schools and make it a contest. So I don't know if you read into that, but the kids would actually participate and nominate the trees.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, the adults could nominate.
I have a list. I'm just waiting on this program to get going.
I know.
I've been driving around, like, that's that one. And that one.
That's a good one.
But it's nice that the kids are included because I feel like children have a special relationship with trees that we kind of forget about as we grow. You know, you just kind of sit under them. But I know that my children look at trees very differently than I do, which is great. I wish I still looked at them the way that they did.
The award ceremony was always at the governor's mansion too.
What? Oh, wow.
That was pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
Fifth graders and fourth graders had always participated.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, that's really cool. I think so, we can work on that before the next meeting and then report on it again.
Okay. And I think maybe Jamie, last meeting, you mentioned doing like a tour or something.
Oh, yes, the My Tours app. So the Main Street Board has been working with a software developer to come up with this history walking tour of downtown, but their app allows for more tours to be uploaded. So that's something that we could kind of add to this. Once we have all the trees designated, we can create like a virtual tour that families can kind of just walk around through Belmont on and stop at the different trees, and then give like an explanation of what it is, how long it's been there, that kind of thing.
Was that also, we talked about that, having the plaques on it would kind of reference that? Like you're in a museum, you kind of, that's number 4? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That doesn't do anything to the tree, does it, when you put those little, does the tree kind of just ignore it after a while? When you put a name tag on a tree? I always wondered about that.
What are you referencing?
When they put the name tags on the trees,
metal.
like this is, I mean, I think about it.
Very resilient.
I know that they're, but you know, so we still, ouch.
It's like getting your ears pierced.
Getting my ears pierced is pretty traumatic, so.
All right. So good heritage tree?
I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you for taking that on. Absolutely. All right, other business.
I have one item of so my one other item of business, and I should have looked at this before I printed off the agenda, and I also should have caught my typos. But we have expiring member terms, so Jamie's membership as well as our student memberships, because they took on partial terms, are set to end at the end of this month. So we're going to be reopening for the position. So we'll have one adult position.
And I'm leaving after the Arbor Day thing.
Okay.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, I just chose not to go. So I can advertise for 2 then, so we know that you're going. So I'll advertise 2 adult positions, and then 2 student positions, starting end of this week or next week, and then we'll do the same thing with reappointments. We'll go through interviews, new applicants will go through interviews as well, and then have a meeting.
Am I out of terms? How many do we get?
don't think you are.
Okay.
We can amend the Constitution.
Well, when I looked
Yeah,
at it,
before we
it
lose
said
you.
51, so I think you're still good.
Okay.
One more.
Okay,
But I can double check.
just make sure. Okay.
And that's my only other business.
Anybody else got anything? Carter he's not here, he was gonna make this announcement, but he took the Crayola information back to his school, and Gaston Early College is doing it as well. I don't think they'll have the volume though, because it's a high school and they have smart boards. There's just not a lot of marker activity in the school.
There's hidden marker activity.
So I think honestly, the teachers probably use them more than the students do, but
Yeah.
they're gonna give it a try there, so that's exciting.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just did that on their, I think their beta club took that on
I
and
love that.
took care of it. Yeah.
I'm trying to make my Girl Scouts do it too, but they're off on another planet.
Yeah.
If you can remind him to brainstorm, we need ideas for like high school age students at Arbor Day, 'cause I think
Yeah.
we've got a lot
What
of
they would be
activities
interested in
there.
doing.
It's just geared towards a middle school, younger age.
The kayak thing, I might have missed that in earlier meetings, but is that just kayaks that are available that we can hop in on and take a tour for 10 minutes? Or can you talk about that for a minute?
Our department purchased, in the range of 10 to 12, I'm not exactly sure, some time ago, and our director was working on getting a staff member designated, so that becomes a regular weekend availability.
Oh, cool.
But to kind of launch that program, because I think he's close to getting that person on his staff, we just wanted to have somebody there, have available work people, not just send a little waiver, but yeah, take it out to the cruise, come back at your leisure.
Are those all like single person things?
Yes.
Okay.
He has expressed interest in looking into buying tandem kayaks.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is in that process, but
Okay.
it's something he's thinking about.
But that might be something, I don't know the minimum age you would have for that, but that might be something fun for the older kids. I mean, I could see high schoolers getting really into that.
Oh, yeah. Carter would be into that.
Sorry, what did you say?
We tested it out at the city employee thing.
Ah, well, there you go.
It was fun watching, it was a little cold, I didn't know it about that. And then, I do want to show y'all this, it was daunting, everyone, so. Pull this up. Cassidy and I have been working on getting a bunch of promotions ready to start going out in March. We've got it into the water department, they're gonna do a plug for all city events in the water bill for March, but I think I showed y'all this before, but just kind of updating, so. The art contest stuff went out to Belmont schools, and then we also did an ad in the Belmont Banner. So I'm gonna do kind of just, reminders that the deadline is coming out, but it sounds like they're all really excited about it. I had one teacher ask if there's a limit on submissions, and I was like, no, not at all. We're all in, we're excited.
Maybe.
These are the posters that we would like to post around town and then online as well. So kind of front and back. The front is just, your basic generic information. The back is gonna have everything listed as far as what activities are available, what vendors are gonna be there, and then information stations as well.
So you'll put the book child
Yes, I will.
toy exchange, okay.
I think that's really cool. I like
This is
that.
a water bill? It's a water bill?
We're good, they're just, the city is doing a full calendar of city Belmont events. At like 8:30 by 11, I think is, and then they'll just include it in the mail notes for the water bill. This is like super zoomed in. And then Cassidy and I went down to the park to kind of map out where things are going to be. This is not going to work now. And of course, this one would look much nicer. Sketch. But I don't know if y'all can see, we've got the 3 tree plantings are going to be in between the shelters, one in front of the big shelter and then one on the trail leading to the fishing access, the dock down here. That'll be our public parking area as well as the main parking area for the Kevin Lofton Riverfront Park. We're going to block off a couple spots to do the food trucks and food vendors in that area since we can't get them on the grass in the park. The main shelter is what we're going to use for presentations and music and vendors. And then we've got the shredded truck down here with the hopes that we can get people to kind of just, drive through, drop off what they gotta do, and then keep going.
Do you think that's going to be adequate parking?
I expressed concern, but Public Works said that they think it'll be more than enough, especially with the addition of the boat dock.
Well, I mean, if you have two, like a Boy Scout and a Girl Scout troop, the parents parking just to bring those kids is going to fill up all of that.
Yeah, we've expressed interest in using the Public Works parking lot and then running gators back and forth so that nobody's crossing Catawba.
Yeah.
We just got to get them to say, yes, we love that idea.
Okay. Well, I would just say, yeah, I mean, because if we're going to have 10 Girl Scouts, 10 Boy Scouts,
Plus the volunteers.
it's 20 cars,
To keep them at beautiful boats.
Yeah,
And then all of our vendors.
There's not that much parking down there, especially if food trucks are going to take up some of the spots.
It would take up, more than
two. Yeah, we were going to
Okay.
take 2 spots. Because we were like, oh, we can't take all the spots.
Yeah. I just don't want potential citizen participants to feel that, I don't want to go down there because what if I can't find a spot, People are like that around here about parking, so.
Yeah, it's definitely something we've been bringing up in our
Okay.
bell meetings because we are concerned about it. So, yeah,
But it looks great.
this is where we are.
It just occurred to me, if Riverbend or Yorkchester agree and they want to participate, do we have to get some kind of an alcohol permit?
Yes, we might want to just ask them though, if they can, because I know Riverbend has really good food, so maybe we just ask them to do food and drinks. Because we're kind of pushing up on the deadline for an alcohol ordinance.
Okay.
Because we would need a licensing ordinance to do it.
What would that deadline be? Okay.
Yeah.
the first council.
The council meeting.
And I will follow up with them. You said that Waste Pro is sponsoring?
We've talked with them about it, but we just haven't gotten the paperwork in.
Yeah. I think that was one of the other things I had noted was, are they going to be able to share information around what can and can't be recycled?
Yes, we asked her to do a table.
Okay. So I'm guessing, they're not going to fund labels or anything, but are they going to have information that citizens can take back with them?
We can ask, I think that would be a good idea. And if it's something that we can print in-house, we can probably help with that.
Is this only 3 trees that are getting planted, or is it 3 clusters of trees?
It's 3 trees that are being ceremonially planted, but David has asked that we plant many trees, so we're going to be working to keep Belmont beautiful on tree species and amounts and locations.
This is our tree
You would like to
species.
help?
Please tell us
Love
the
your
proper
input.
tree species. Well, yeah, because we don't want those 3 to just be lonely. They have to have their community, right?
Those are just good locations where people can gather around. We haven't figured that out yet.
Oh, now is your time. Well, I think that top one is kind of swampy, actually. That's a swampy spot.
Yeah, it's on the trail leading over. Yeah. This is just what was recommended. We can always go back and challenge.
If only we had a specialist.
Gosh. Think of what we This is why he chooses to sit down here.
Are there utilities that run down in that area? Maybe well, I don't want to say, you're going to hit me if I say something that's not native or whatever. I don't know if a willow or, something kind of water swampy. I don't know if there's a native.
That area.
Oaks that love the
Okay.
Yeah, I vote for a tree that one day children can climb.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Big
that
one.
also counts, but we need more kid climbing trees around here.
I know we're scheduling another adult meeting with Public Works and for help and stuff. Do you have anything to add from Keep Belmont Beautiful's end? I can catch you up.
I think it's looking good. I just hope you get the participation, because the last one, we were pretty disappointed with the speed down there. There wasn't a lot of traffic, but hopefully with what you're doing as far as advertisement, it'll be good.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
And we're hoping for weather.
Yeah, weather. Is this going to be rain or shine, or as it gets?
We did do a rain date, let me see if I can pull it up. I just have to stare at a calendar and remember.
You want to tell Cassidy too, Whitewater Center at the end of each year generally sells off a lot of their kayaks. There's nothing wrong with them, they're just faded a little bit.
Okay.
Very large discounts, some are singles, some are doubles.
That would be awesome. I want to say April 13th, right? No, we changed it from April 13th to, May 4th, I think it's, no, Garibaldi. I will have to confirm, because I know it was April 13th, and then we changed it to something, and I can't remember what it.
Wait, the event?
A rain date.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The event is scheduled for April 6th.
Yeah, that's the
but
one I
if it
know.
rains, there was some back and forth, and I just can't remember. I'll have to check my emails for when it was made, but there is a rain date, and then if that date gets rained out, then we're just gonna have to plant the trees and invite some people.
We'll have a barbecue.
Yes. We'll have an outdoor meeting that night.
That sounds good. All right, does that wrap up other business?
I just had some questions, and I think these are just because I'm new to, haven't been around for all the planning, about the Arbor Day. So what kind of, visual kind of advertising or, I don't know, ways to make it obvious that this is going on Main Street do we have? Because I feel like Main Street does not suffer from low traffic on the weekend, especially if it's a nice day. I wonder if there's something we could do to kind of drive people from there to, hey, come by, the Arbor Day Fest.
Between our department and the Parks and Rec department, we have a good amount of sandwich boards. So this map would ideally be on one, and then the other would be this flyer that's got, everything that they can expect to be at the event. So we would ideally print out a few of these and station them around, because there's only 3 spots in the city where we can put these big sandwich boards. So have them in those 3 locations, and then have them in places that we know people are at a lot, which is downtown, and then having it at all the parks. But a lot of our communication is really just done through social media and websites presence, and then a lot of people like the information with their water bills. So we made sure to get on the March water bill. But yeah, and then really just word of mouth, or they didn't even know about the meeting or the event until they came to the meeting tonight. So it's just about getting the information out there.
A lot of times too, we took the posters and the Raj would print them off for us, and we would walk the street, and the businesses would put them in the window, and with the artwork it had an advertisement for it, which was another way to get it out there.
That would be good too. Yeah, we can switch up the posters, because we'll have the art submissions March 8th, so we can scan them in and use the children's art and then give it out in schools. It's just going to be about really pushing it out there. Because I think it'll be a great event. We really want to get people there to see it and continue to build the presence of it.
I am really sad to say that I won't be here for the event.
Oh, no.
I didn't realize that it was so early in April. I thought it was more around National Arbor Day, and so we will be out of town. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to take on some tasks, especially. I was going to ask too. So I saw that there are there's a line on here about local nurseries and having informational tables and possibly providing saplings. I was wondering, as far as the information that they're going to provide, are we asking them for tree care and tree maintenance?
We can, yeah. We've actually been having trouble getting in touch with them, which we just need to go down there and talk to them. But I think that would be really good.
And I wonder if there's any tree servicing companies in the area that we could talk to. I know for the Wells Fargo Green Team, we're having somebody talk on one of our upcoming calls. But he's in the Fort Mill area. But he's, a diehard tree lover, he wants to save every tree he meets. And so I wonder if there's somebody like that who would have the enthusiasm and energy to help people, talk about the proper way to prune and maintain trees, mulching, things like that.
I'm thinking of one person that we met with, so I will make a note to reach out to him. It's a local landscaping business.
That's a good idea. I'm sure he would love to do that. It's free marketing if we're not asking for sponsorship, just for information.
Business.
Yeah.
So yes, I will reach out to him. The Nature Challenge, that was the photo contest blitz that I mentioned. I don't think y'all were here yet. It's an initiative coming out of Concord. We're trying to get more information about it and hoping that one of their members will be willing to do a table to kind of help share the information. Cassidy and I weren't able to make the last meeting, but we still want the city to be present in it. So hopefully we'll get somewhere with that.
And I have a question. Is the Stowe Nursery affiliated with the Stowe Botanical Garden in any way?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a lot of Stowe names.
Yeah, it is Belmont. Have we ever partnered with the Stowe Botanical Gardens?
On other events, yeah.
Other events, they don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he works for them, so that's why we were able to get a phone call with him. It was funny. But yeah, he's gonna try and see if his, I guess, department can get any giveaways to give out to everybody that comes, and then the other lady is going to be doing the tree identification game down at the park. So that's cool.
Did you guys reach out to Catawba Riverkeeper?
No.
Because I'm pretty close with a couple of them over there, so I can definitely ask them if they're interested.
That would be great, even if just having information will be
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I'll send out the link to y'all so you can start sharing with your friends. I had some technical difficulties with our vendor form, but we've got it worked out.
When you have the finalized graphic, could you also send that to us, like in a PDF or JPEG or something, so we can post it on our little...
Did y'all see what the city posted? It was a recycling game on their Facebook page. I was sharing it, and my friends was like, what? So it's basically, it has different items, and you can drag it to where it needs to be recycled or trashed.
I didn't see that.
It was cute.
Facebook. I don't control my own destiny. I see the same 3 people all the time. So I don't wonder anymore.
If you want to send me the information, I'll put it on Keep On People's Facebook too.
That would be awesome.
Do you guys do constant contact too? That's another opportunity. I have a list for Keep On One Beautiful of about 500 people that we can send it to as well.
That would be great, yeah. I'm not 100% sure what the status is of our agenda.
It's a really good way to get folks who don't use Facebook.
Yeah.
But I can do that for you guys.
Thank you.
Are y'all going to do the herb sale again?
Yes.
When does
we
that
are.
start?
It's I think it's, your rain date is when we're doing our tree day. And it's also the natural, or the historical board's history day. We do it at their property. It's like May the 6th, I think is what it is. Yeah.
My herbs, I have them planted in just like little pots, and even though they didn't like get huge, they managed the whole winter. I didn't take anything out, and throughout the winter and everything, they continued to produce.
Wow.
They do. Awesome. There's these like the hardiest and most amazing parsley and mint I've ever had in my life. Like, they just keep on giving. I'm not giving them much, and they're like really.
I'll get you an order for them when we get them out.
Yeah, I know. Are y'all gonna do tomatoes though?
No.
Oh, please do.
Mostly flowers and herbs.
Oh, I know, but I can never remember to plant my tomato seeds in time, and then every time everyone's like, it's too late. I'm like, no, I have to get more store-bought tomatoes every year. It's like,
It's already too late.
is it? Well, because I want to get like good ones that don't taste like water and nothing, which is what generally tomatoes taste like now. We good?
Oh, sorry.
More questions?
Sorry to keep going with the questions. So I see on here that it's one of our tasks is to research the forms of waste disposal, cooking oil and hazardous waste. Is that something? Just like a general
idea, if y'all want to still kind of go forward with it.
Yeah, like
definitely
batteries and things that are hard to, light bulbs.
Okay.
It's really hard to get rid of those, like the little electronic-y kind of stuff.
I think the idea was like members would research how it could be disposed and then maybe set up a disposal site or collection at this event so we could take those questions and know what to do with them versus just storing them in the office.
Right.
That won't work. But yeah, if that's something we want to move forward with, we can.
Do you want to take that up?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember the original idea. I think it could even be as simple, if we want to really simplify it, to just giving out information of like, hey, need to know what to do with your, used batteries or whatever. So just pointing them to local resources.
Yeah. And do we do like an annual or semi-annual drop-off for like electronics
Hazardous waste or e-waste.
The county does.
The county does,
The
okay.
Gaston County does.
America does it every year. For its free to the public, we have to go to Charlotte.
So maybe we find out when the next county one is, and we can even share that.
Yeah, it's done through the county recycling, Gaston County Division of whatever that is, but it's their recycling center. They do that, and sometimes they collect it at the landfill, I believe, over in Dallas. That's kind of where they have trucks and stuff set up to do it.
I think we went there to take the grocery bags, and I was really surprised at how informal it was. There wasn't a whole other direction. And I was like, gosh, isn't this really important that I put it in the right one? And he's like, one of those too. And I was like, okay. Yeah. As long as it gets recycled.
I've had those experiences before,
Yeah.
and you look back and then it says like wood chips, and you're just threw your batteries in there.
Yeah, it's in newspapers, and I was like, are you sure?
Yeah, I've had that same experience, and then you really wondered if the things that you
Where it
held
all
on to for
goes.
4
Yeah.
years so that you could recycle them properly are actually going to the right spot. Yes.
Speaking of videos, the Biltmore County, I can't remember, somewhere around Asheville, their county released a video, and it was all about contamination. And it's super cute. It's made in black and white and kind of like this 1950s kind of feel. It's got like the little piano music behind it, and it has the operators of their processing plant pulling all of this hose and material and plastic bags out of their jammed up machines. And it's like, here's why you don't want to do this. And it's very short but very informative and entertaining. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Video on our website.
Yeah, I wonder, maybe we could just ask if we have permission and like we stick it on our
As
stuff.
long as we give them credit.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Can you send it to me?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
That would be awesome.
Are you setting up a Facebook event for the Arbor Day Festival?
Yes, we have one.
Okay.
I'll send that link as well.
Okay.
I don't post much on it because we were knocking out the list, but opposites. Yeah, we all go crazy on there and just start inviting our personal friends. That's what you'll do now. Like, you live around me.
Yeah, my only concern is that I think people are going to be a little funky about the parking. I feel like people are a little funky about parking in general.
Especially down there because it's a nice, complicated street leading out to a highway.
Yeah.
So the way bring the parking back up there, it's complicated.
Parks and Rec let you use the truck, the van, if they park downtown, that is a pickup spot.
Oh, that would be
Signage.
cool.
And I mean, you could fit people back and forth.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
They used to do that for the city's festivals. They do it in Rose's parking lot. You can park there and then they would shuttle you back and
That's so
forth.
cool. Okay.
Plus, that would add some visual, to the people who see the shuttle going back and forth,
Right.
saying, hey, what's going on?
And you might be able to get a sign put on the bus and
Right.
a little stand for the pickups.
Arbor Day or bust.
We need a sponsor for that.
The horse-drawn carriage was really good. Let's do that. Yeah. It's more environmentally friendly.
The art truck, we couldn't use that to show
It's like, hey, guarantee how great that's going to smell.
Maybe that does the hay rides at the festivals, go back and forth. That might entice families.
I enjoyed the hayride. That was a lot of fun. And the horse-drawn carriage.
And the trolley thing, that was fun too.
Anything else, Megan? No, we're good.
Okay.
All right, we'll adjourn then.
Thank you.
Motion?
Do we have to make a motion to adjourn, or we just adjourn? All right, we're good.
Let me shut this off.
So the most important question is, how's Ryan?
Oh, he's wonderful.
Yes, what is he doing now? What's the news?
I have a friend who's babysitting him, so, yeah, it's her first time coming over to stay.
Oh. Is he like rolling over, like that kind of stuff yet?
Not quite yet,
Yeah.
but he's a lot more active and,
Is he on his toes?
Not so much. He plays with his hands a lot,
Right.
and he's starting to like reach for things.
I feel like it grows south.
Okay.
You know, like they'll be like, oh, great.
Yeah,
And then
he's
one day
definitely
they're like,
talking a lot now. He hasn't found it like that yet.
Oh, my kids are like, what in the world? Yeah, that was good times.
Well, something to look forward to.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. You can see them discovering. They're like, I had no idea this was attached before, but now it's attached.
No, it's fun to see him all smiling and
So will that
laughing.
cover the log rolling, or do I still need to?
And he knows you, and it's
Oh,
you.
yeah, like recognizes you.
Okay, I'll still ask.